Year 9, our lesson today is on comprehension. And I want us to understand that comprehension is passage reading. And our passage today is, as you can see, our passage today is an abridged extract from a short story. This is our lesson 9, maybe lesson 16, text 90. So straight we go into the reading session. Remember, when we read this, we also need you to go back and read by yourself, and then you go through the questions. Now, we are reading an abridged extract from a short story called The Distractors, in which a gang of teenage boys is persuaded by its leader to commit a crime. Next day, that's how it starts. Next day, T astonished them all. He was late at the rendezvous, and the voting for that day's exploit took place without him. At Blackie's suggestion, the gang was to disperse in pairs, take buses at random, and see how many free rides could be snatched from unwary conductors. That is, the operation was to be carried out in pairs to avoid cheating. They were drawing lots for their companions when T arrived. "Where you been, T?" Blackie asked. "You can't vote now. You know the rules." "Have been there," T said. He looked at the ground as though he had thoughts to hide. "Where?" "At All Mysteries." "At All Mysteries?" Blackie said. There was nothing in the rules against it, but he had a sensation that T was treading on dangerous ground. He asked hopefully, "Did you break in?" "No, I rang the bell." "And what do you say?" "I said I wanted to see his house." "Where did he go?" "He showed it me." "Pinch anything?" "No." "Why did you do it for them?" The gang had gathered round. It was as though an impromptu court were about to form to try some case of deviation. T said, "It's a beautiful house." And still watching the ground, meeting no one's eyes, he licked his lips first one way, then the other. "What do you mean, a beautiful house?" Blackie asked with scorn. "It's got a staircase 200 years old, like a corkscrew. Nothing holds it up." "What do you mean nothing holds it up? Does it float?" "It is to do with opposite forces," All Mystery said. "What else?" "There is Stanley, 200 years old. Is All Mystery 200 years old?" Someone laughed suddenly, and then it was quiet again. The meeting was in a serious mood. For the first time since T had strolled into the car park and joined the gang on the first day of the school holidays, his position was in danger. It only needed a single use of his real name, and the gang would be at its heels. "What did you do it for?" Blackie asked. He was just. He had no jealousy. He was anxious to retain T in the gang if he could. It was the word beautiful that worried him, that belonged to a class world that you could still see parodied by a man wearing a top hat and a monocle with a ho-ho accent. Ho-ho accent. He was tempted to say, "My dear Trevor, old chap, and unleash his hellhounds. If you had broken in, he said, sadly, that indeed would have been an exploit worthy of the gun." This was better. T said, "I found out things." He continued to stare at his feet, not meeting anybody's eye, as though he were absorbed in some dream he was unwilling or ashamed to share. What things or mysteries going to be away all tomorrow and over the weekend? Lucky said with relief, "You mean we could break in and pink things?" Someone asked. Lucky said, "Nobody is going to pink things. Breaking in, that is good enough, isn't it? We don't want any cold stuff. I don't want to pinch anything," T said. "I've got a better idea." "What is it?" T raised his eyes, as grey and disturbed as the dread August day. "We'll pull it down," he said. "We'll destroy it." Lucky gave a single hoot of laughter and then fell quiet, daunted by the serious, implacable gaze. What's the police going to doing all the time? What would the police be doing all the time? He said. They would never know. They would never know. We'll do it from inside. I found a way, he said, with a sort of intensity. We would be like worms, don't you see, in an apple? When we came out again, there would be nothing there. No staircase, no panels, nothing but just walls, and then we would make the walls fall down. Somehow, we would go to prison, like he said. Who is to prove? And anyway, we wouldn't have pinched anything, he added without the smallest flick of glee. There wouldn't be anything to pinch after we'd finished. There wouldn't be time, like he said. I've seen housebreakers at work. None of us know now. I know, T said. He looked across Glacky. Have you got a better plan? The gang's got to vote. Put it up then. Glacky said uneasily. It is proposed that tomorrow and Monday we destroy all Mystery's house. Who is in favor? T said. It is carried. It was the end of Blacky's leadership. He went away to the back of the car park and began to kick a stone, dribbling it this way and that, beyond paying no more attention to him than to a stranger. The gang had gathered round T. That is the end of our reading. You need to go back and read the entire text. I told you it's an abridged copy of a paragraph, a passage. Go back and read the entire passage again more than once, and then we shall look at the activity 8A in the next part.